welcome back. Happy Tuesday, right? Yeah, I think so. How are you all doing today? I am doing well. It has been, I want to say, a quiet day. Got up this morning and knitted on my socks and started decreasing on the gusset on the one. Got the other one, the heel flap and turn done, so now I'm getting ready to decrease on that sock too. And I think you're crooked, but maybe not. Sorry. And then I picked up my cross stitch, the big one with the red barn in it, and started doing a little bit more of the grass, and then decided when I ran out of the thread that I was going to go around and do the strawberries because there's still quite a bit of grass yet to go. And I don't know, I had breakfast and everything, and we had bought half of a pig this year, and we didn't get to pick, you know, the cuts or anything, but we read where we got it at, what it was. And so Jerry had taken out some bacon, because when you looked at it, it was all frozen and it looked like it was pretty thick bacon. And I thought, well, we've been wanting BLT sandwiches, and I thought that would be good for supper. So while he was on the treadmill, I got out because we do it in the oven, the bacon, and I got it all set up and opened up the bag, and lo and behold, there was like 27 pieces of it in there. So I had 2 cookie sheets full and put it in the oven. Now, we have never been able to get it, you know, crispy, crunchy like you do if you fry it. If anybody does theirs in the oven, how do you do it? How I did it was at 375. I had it on a cookie sheet with a cooling rack on top of it. Put some foil underneath the cooling rack for the cleanup. And then I baked it, well, this time it went for almost 30 minutes, and it still is not crispy. Some of the edges kind of are, but it's not. I was told next time turn it up to 400 degrees, 15 to 18 minutes, and see if that makes a difference. But anyway, so we got bacon. So we'll have bacon lettuce sandwiches tonight. We don't have any tomatoes, so we'll have BT sandwiches for supper. And then there is going to be plenty left over for he wants to make his corn chowder, and we can use the majority of the bacon for that corn chowder soup. So then I went and did my treadmill, and then I went back into my craft room to because I wanted to have another small cross stitch to do in between this big one and my Liberty one patriotic one that I'm doing, that has the big old border, because there is 8 months that there will be something in each one. And so that took me down a rabbit hole, because I don't even know if I have it with me. I don't, because I started pulling out of all the cross stitch I have, the threads, and Classic Color Works and Weeks Dye Works. There was 2 colors I did not have, and I thought, oh, I really didn't want to run into town for 2 of them. So I thought, you know, I have lots of kits and everything, you know, maybe I'll come across it if I go through some kits. But I came back out and I stitched on that big old sampler some more, and had some lunch. And when I was sitting there working on that sampler, I had some Classic Color Works and some Weeks Dye Works in that too. So I pulled out, and sure enough, the 2 missing ones I had in there. So I don't have to buy anything. So I got that all put together with the fabric whenever I want to start it. well, then it got me thinking, what else do I have in smalls that I've had since 2020 or 2021 when I started recross stitching again? So I started looking. I have 2 totes, and I started looking through stuff, and I'm like looking at stuff going, yeah, I started it, but I probably won't finish that stuff. But anyways, I did find a couple things and I wanted to show you. Now, I got these Prairie Schoolers, and I have 3 of them. And because Jerry collects clocks and he refurbishes them and everything, I thought I was going to make him this for Christmas, and it would be like an ornament or a flat fold or something that he can, you know, have out and stuff. Well, I remember I went down and I got the called for fabric, and I'll tell you, I'm not a big fan of the fabric, and that's why I quit doing them. But that's when I first started and didn't realize that you could just use whatever you want. So I had gotten this far, but I'm not happy with it. So I think because this is, I think it's 14 count. What was the, oh no, it is 18 count. It was on Putty Khaki Davos, 18 count. I just didn't like how it was, and maybe it's because now I do only 1 strand and this is double. So I don't know. I shouldn't start it all over, but I might. I might not. But anyways, I want to get this finished for Mr. Jerry this year. So I have that one. And I know I had a couple other ones too. Everything's right beside me. So I got this one. I remember buying that for our son because he hunts deer. Well, his whole family does. So I need to finish that. And there was this one. And there's been several of these out since I started. And of course I did this one for myself. So I think that I am going to be doing some of these like Christmas in July or something. Hopefully I haven't been showing you the pattern. I'm going to have to do some fancy editing. So just in case I did, I'm going to do this. Because really these don't take that long once you get going. And I have all the colors. So I got them all together. So they're in one area. I can't get it in the bag because there's tape on here, it seems like. What I would like to do is do them all on, and that's probably what I'll do, is on this 18 count vintage country mocha. I like that a little bit better. So we'll see. And then that other small that I wanted to do was this little bird one, robin with strawberries, called Strawberry Fair. I got the colors in the back that I pulled. And this one shouldn't be that big. If I did it on 14 count, it'd be 6 by 4, so it's going to be really smaller if I do it on the 18 count that I want to, so, but we'll see. Then I found this, oh, sorry. It's called Stitching Birds. And I remember seeing these, and I really liked them. Well, they came out this year with a patriotic one, and I'm going to get that, and I thought, you better go check before you start ordering a bunch of other things. So I did. I had this one right here called Farmhouse. What is it called? Farmhouse bird. So they are all the same birds. And then you have this one here. That was the quilting bird. And then this is the stitching bird. So they're not very big at all. They are like two, you might as well say 3 inches by 5 inches, because it's 2.6 by 4.9. And it was on 32 count, which would be like 16 count. So, and I did start it on 32 count back when I didn't know what I was doing. And when I look at this, I might be able to do it, but my stitching is way off. But this is what I got done on that first one. So this is when I was first learning. And when I go to look at, like, to put in another stitch on it, then I find that I'm off a row. So it will be a shame to not be able to use that, but I can see where my stitches are way off. So I do have, because this was done, what did I just say, 30 count. So oh, this looks long. Well, I guess it'd be 3 inches. I'll have to see what I got. I know I don't have too much in 16 count or in 18 count because I about depleted my supply, but I do have some 32 count even Lugana, and that might work better than what I got here. So, but I think I'm going to order the Stitching Bird, the patriotic one. I know there's a summer, spring, fall, there's a basically all, you know, so I'll have to look to see, but yeah, I'd like to get those done. Then I had a couple of, I'm going to save that one for last. Then I have this book here called Sweet Land of Liberty, Blackbird design. And I got this book because I saw somebody do this one right here. And I really like that one. I just like all the big girls. So, let me get a picture, a color picture of it. And I don't know, sometimes the Blackbird designs, you can't get the books anymore or the patterns because they only release so many of them. So this is called Salute to Abigail. This was on John Adams. It was to his wife, Abigail. It says, thoughts from John Adams to his wife Abigail on America's independence. I am apt to believe that it will be celebrated by succeeding generations as the great anniversary festival. It ought to be commemorated, goodness sakes alive, as the day of deliverance by solemn acts of devotion to God Almighty. It ought to be solemnized with pomp and parade, with shoes, SHEWS, games, sports, guns, bells, bonfires, and illuminations from one end of this continent to the other, from this time forward and forevermore. You will think me transported with enthusiasm, but I am not. I am well aware of the toil and blood and treasure that it will cost us to maintain this declaration and support and defend these states. Yet through all the gloom, I can see the rays of ravishing light and glory. I can see that the end is more than worth all the means, and that prosperity will triumph in that day's transaction, even although we should rue it, which I trust in God we shall not. And it said, letter from John Adams to Abigail Adams, July 3rd, 1776. Well, I think this is going to be for me to start, don't you think? That is the original sampler right there. I think that needs to be started this year. That might be my July 4th start. So, I had that. Then I had this Blackbird Design Suds, Come in the Garden, Come in My Garden. I like this one too. But I think that I will start the letter to Abigail first. I had got this one. It was a Brenda Gervais, Rejoice Evermore. The problem is that because I don't do linen, I can't do these little fancy stitches and everything. And I was new enough at this, I didn't realize that until I bought it. But this one has it has 4 different stitches. A Smyrna cross, no, it's got 3 different, Algerian eyelet, and 4-sided. And they're a lot easier to do on linen. But this is what she looks like. I doubt this one will ever get done because of that reason. And then this one, I really want to start this one, but this is a Long Dog sampler. This one is done on 18 count white Aida, which that's what I love to do. And it will be 12.5 by 12.5. And it is called Cardinal Points. And I have seen this finished and it is just gorgeous. So, let's see if I can. So it's very colorful, but I really like this one too. So I think when I get my barn one done, I have my other Teresa Colgate sampler going, military one, patriotic one, I should say, that I will be working on. But I think in between everything I'll do some of these littles that I have. But I'm really thinking that I really should start that letter from Abigail. I should. Where is she? Right there. What do you think? There are smaller ones I can do also. I mean, there is this house right here too. But I got it because of that Abigail one. So, yeah. So I'm really leaning towards this. I could do on 20 count because I do have 20 count Aida, but I think what I will do is I will get Miss Abigail all kitted up and go from there. On those socks I was talking about yesterday, I decided I will undo it because I'm just not trusting 100% superwash merino won't stretch it out on the sock, and it won't hold up a lot, and that's a lot of work and time going into a sock that might fall apart down the road a lot quicker. So I went and I looked in my Freckled Whimsy stuff. There's a couple of them I could start, but I looked in my regular sock stuff and nothing's really calling me. So I do have, I just got notification that out of her club, second club of Christmas, it's ready to be shipped, which usually means I get it by next Monday maybe. I might wait, well, I probably will wait because I'll try to get those other socks done first, and see what that colorway is, and if it isn't something that's calling me, then I'll just sit there and start up something else. So Miss Jean, you asked about did I knit socks. Yes, I've knitted socks for a long time. I taught myself how to knit socks on double point needles, and actually the first pair of socks I had, they came as a free card. We'd go down to my craft store and they have those cards that says take me, I'm free, and that was on a US 5 or a US, oh, it might have been a 7 even, and that was my very first time doing. So I did learn on the double point needles. I do enjoy double point needles. The only one I have not liked is the one where you use, what is it called? It's not Magic Loop, it's the other one where you still have the two needles, and I know that it's just switching back and forth with your needles, but my mom really enjoyed that a lot. It just would not click. When I did Magic Loop, that took a while to learn Magic Loop for me, because I was used to the double point needles. You know, I had 4 or 5 needles and I'd go back and forth and everything, and it was that long strand that, you know, that kept getting me thinking, until finally I kept hearing them say just look at it as 2 needles. So one's holding the needle and one is your working needle. So you pull out the one that you normally, if you had long needles, all your stitches would be on one needle, and then you'd have your other needle to knit. And they said do the same with Magic Loop. So when you pull that front needle or that back needle out to knit on the front needle, and you knit all those onto that needle, then you tend to, then you have to, you know, shove the needle back up to get all the other stitches on. So, but yeah, I did that for the longest time, self-taught myself. The best one I found on the internet was from the Crazy Sock Lady, and she has a free vanilla sock pattern and a DK pattern on here on YouTube. So that's where I would start, because once you get down that vanilla recipe on how you like to do your socks, it just becomes natural. I don't need to look up how to do anything anymore. So but yeah, so, but other than that, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm pretty sure, like I said, supper's going to be BLTs minus the tomatoes. And all I'm planning on doing is working on that cross stitch. And I think what I'm going to do is course, take care of all these. I'll keep out a couple of the smaller bird ones and see about, because I have all the floss on that stitching one is right in the bag, so all I need to do is just get some fabric and then I can just start doing that. So, but it gives me different options when I need something different to do. And right now I'm really enjoying between the knitting in the mornings and the cross stitching during the day. And because when summer gets here, there will be a time when I won't want to do anything because the garden will be going, or we'll be busy canning, freezing, doing whatever. So life is just, you know, too short to not do what you enjoy. And if that means that, you know, you want to knit all the time, then knit all the time. If it means that you want to sew all the time, sew all the time. If it means you want to read all the time, read all the time. Don't compare yourself to others doing that, as far as like with the weight loss journey. You know, heck, I wish I was at my goal weight several times over, and it just hasn't happened, and that's no one but me. So there's nobody here forcing me to eat that cookie, or you know what I'm saying. And so you just have to find balance. You have to find grace within yourself and not to beat yourself up too bad, and just say, I'm going to try harder. But for right now, I did the best that I could do. So, but thanks again, my friends, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow. See you soon.